Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the Hardwood Nation podcast with your boy, C.O. Anthony, my main man, Kobe Bean, a.k.a. Chef Pat, and my other main man, Michael Franz. What is going on, fellas?
What's up?
You already know.
Glad to be back with Pat. I haven't seen Pat since last year's draft, so I'm glad to have him back on here.
It's been that long,
bro. I like you, Mike. You're a good guy. Good guy.
Likewise, fam.
So I know, Pat, you told me about a week ago you had some shit to get off your chest. You got the stage, my man. Go ahead.
Oh, sir.
Go ahead and cook.
I don't know if you guys recall the preseason show I was a guest on. Boy, Magic fans and Heat fans were talking crazy out here. You know, and I look at the current position of both teams, and I just have to wonder why these people are so confident in their loyalties. Boy, you know, the Lakers were supposed to be where they are, you know, and yeah. So much more I want to say. I just need some, you know.
This is really the bullshit you hit me with to start this. This really
so much
bullshit.
Hey, y'all still talking about Bronny?
So we're gonna get into that. But we're gonna pivot real quick to Mike. Okay. Mike, before you get started, congratulations on your Detroit Pistons. Okay.
Thank you.
You have the stage. You have the stage, sir. Let me know what the fuck is going on in Phoenix.
Hey, I've said it once. I've said it 1,000 times. I like James Jones. I think he's a good guy, but I think that the problem in Phoenix is bigger than James Jones. It's bigger than Matt Ishbia. It's bigger than Robert Sarver because it goes in line with everything. Like, it was a huge mess at the beginning, and all it did is just get worse. So everybody's added into it, but it's not because of one thing or one person. But it's when does that shit stop, right? We went through 3 coaches in 3 or 4 years, right?
4 years, yeah.
We've made bad deals out here with bringing Bradley Beal in. That was probably the dumbest deal in the world, if you ask me. You know, like, to me, they could have been able to keep. I was actually having this conversation with a couple of my boys, one of them who's a huge Suns fan. And I said, imagine if they would have played their cards right. They would have been able to keep CP3. They would have had Devin Booker. They still could have got Kevin Durant. And they would have had Nurkic at the 5.
Mm-hmm.
Now tell me how that right there. I'm sorry, when you get a true point guard like CP3 on the floor, look what happened. They went to the finals, and then you're really talking about that one thing that they really needed. They got, which was Kevin Durant. They could have ended up going and winning the chip. 2 years later. Yeah. Right? Because they gave up draft picks for Kevin Durant. They gave up draft picks. So there's different ways that things could have happened. And I think that they're so focused on selling these tickets that they don't care about the performance of the team. It's kind of like it's for show, right? It's like, what are we doing here? And that's why I have such a huge problem with the Phoenix Suns, right? There was no need to let Steve Nash go and then bring him back when you had him on a rookie deal, right?
You went way back with that one.
Right, but look what happened. Years ago, bro. It was one of those, but these are the things that I'm talking about, right?
They should have never traded Charles Barkley. Okay, continue.
They should have never traded Charles. Yeah, right, exactly.
Shout out to Cedric Wallace.
They sold Rajon Rondo at the draft.
Yeah.
They sold him for cash.
Yeah.
Like, you didn't even get anything in return, and look at what ended up happening in Boston, right? Like, you gave away pieces that you could have built around and used. Like, I don't know if it's a scouting thing. I don't know if it's a coaching thing because Mike Budenholzer did not have a handle on that team all year.
He's trash. He's fucking trash. He should have never got that opportunity to say.
But you know what's funny is the last 2 coaches that they had between him and what was his name? Frank Vogel.
Lakers.
Right. Those 2 coaches, that just shows for me that the previous teams that they had are what got them where it wasn't the coach's leadership, it was the teams that got them where they needed to, because when they left, they didn't do shit either spot here. They've had teams. They had good rosters. Frank Vogel had a good roster. Mike Budenholzer had a good roster. Still couldn't do it. So at that point,
he had a good starting five. He had a good starting five.
Yeah, absolutely.
The bitch was a little weak. He had a good starting five.
I think it all needs to blow up. I'm not going to say this too often because Stephen A's on my shit list, but I love how he called out Matt Ishbia for one. Yep. Right? He called out Matt Ishbia. Matt Ishbia mentioned him in his press conference, whatever. But they're not good. We don't have good ownership here either. We haven't had good ownership for 20 plus years. When Robert Sarver said, I want to own a team just to own a team, I don't know anything about basketball, there's a problem right there. And I've said that on previous podcasts because that will always stick with me. When you don't know what you're getting into, you don't know how to manage it correctly. You don't know what to do.
I agree. Remember who his wingman is. Isaiah Thomas is his wingman. Pat. So
let it be known.
Are
we talking about Phoenix? What are we doing?
No, we're gonna pivot a little bit because I know you got a new toy to play with a few weeks ago. So we're gonna pivot to you real quick. So
pause.
As far as Mike's comment before I hit record about JJ Redick, let me just say this: having Luka and LeBron James on the court at the same time saves JJ Redick and gives him more time to tinker with the Los Angeles Lakers. I
would agree with that.
How shocked and ecstatic were you when you first found out about this Luka trade? Because Dallas is still reeling from it.
I remember it like it was yesterday. CL Anthony. It was a cold February night. We had just demolished New York Knicks in Madison Square Garden, and I came home to revel in victory. And I saw these people. Oh, Luka got traded to the Lakers, and I couldn't believe what I was seeing. I was like, okay, a lot of people lie. I had to jump on my phone, and sure enough, Luka was already headed to the great city of Los Angeles. It was one of the greatest moments of my life, Cam. And, but I will not take anything away from JJ Redick.
I ain't giving JJ Redick. Let me tell you something. I ain't giving JJ Redick a lick of credit for the Lakers.
I know you don't. I know you don't.
I don't give a fuck about JJ Redick. I can go out there and coach LeBron James and Luka. Okay, I'm just saying we all.
No, it's not that.
Yeah, we could. It's that easy. It is literally that easy.
We were a mediocre team before the trade. We were in the middle of the bunch. JJ, we were doing good. I remember you asking me questions about what I thought about JJ around that time. And I said that I thought that we were going to be okay, but getting one of the greatest players of this generation definitely helped out. And we ready, man. We just need a more length on our team, but I think our defense and our superstars are going to carry us over, bro. So
I mean, Luka,
I'm feeling good over here. It's all good over here, bro.
No, I fuck with you, but Luka didn't add defense. Trust me, I fuck with you, but Luka
did
not.
Add defense. You say he did not add defense?
No, Luka.
You're not watching the games. You're not.
Luka can't spell defense.
You're not watching the games.
Luka can't spell defense. No,
you're not watching the games.
Luka will not defend anyone.
You're not watching the games, Cam.
No.
Obviously.
So I believe that's where JJ Redick needs to get some credit because he's handling the team in a sense where it was funny because I literally got a notification from ESPN. There's an actual article in regards to how they've performed on defense recently that have stifled teams.
That's what the biggest rotate.
Didn't we have like the number one?
But see, that's what I'm saying.
All-Star break, we had like the number one defense since All-Star break.
Specifically, Luka can't spell defense. We're not
right.
talking about
That's not true.
rotation.
That's not true, bro.
No, Luka's a defensive liability. In fact,
oh my god,
Pat,
this sound like ESPN right now, bro. Watch the games, my guy. Watch every Laker game.
They're playing defense as a
team.
They're playing
as a team.
Great team.
They're playing team defense, yes.
When asked, after the trade happened, Nico Harrison literally said, when he was asked about the trade, he said, defense wins championships. And that's what he left and Mike dropped it because Luka is he's a liability on defense by himself. As a team, they play great defense, though. Right. I'm not gonna sugarcoat that at all. And that's why I'm saying that's where the credit to JJ Redick needs to come in, because he's handling these rotations correctly. He's giving that opportunity for them to play good defense with 1-1 on and off the court. They don't have to be on the court at the same time.
Correct.
Y'all not watching the games.
I would give JJ.
Oh,
I would give JJ Redick.
I'm definitely watching these games. Yo,
y'all not watching the Lakers game.
Luka ain't stopping nobody off the ball. Luka ain't stopping nobody off the ball. LeBron ain't stopping. Yes, he's supposed to. Yes, the perimeter defense is supposed to make it easy for your bigs. Your bigs are playing great defense. Your bigs are covering up.
I don't have any bigs. I don't have
the
any
bigs.
Jackson Hayes is playing. Jackson Hayes is actually playing very well.
He's athletic as fuck, and he's covering up for the defensive deficiencies on the perimeter.
Low key, it was a great.
That's not true. That's not fucking true. Y'all don't watch the games. Y'all can tell. I watch every Lakers game.
So you telling me LeBron and Luka stopping their man 1-on-1 every play? Is that what you telling me?
No, they play team defense, but also I've seen.
We just said that it's team defense.
Okay, let me finish my statement.
Okay,
they play team defense, but also I've seen Luka get several steals within the game. 1-on-1, no doubles, no nothing. Blocks, all these things.
Of his size.
I watch the games.
I
watch ESPN the next morning. I watch the game. I
don't even watch ESPN. By virtue of his size, Luka can stop a smaller guard. We talking about a dude that's 6'8", 6'9", 260. Okay, he can stop smaller guards without blinking his eyes. But we're talking about if someone just pick and rolling him to death all game. No. Luka's not going to play defense. LeBron's not going to play defense. It's up to your bigs, which have been doing a great job to stop the perimeter players from coming in. So we're actually giving the Lakers credit, and I'm actually giving JJ credit for that.
I agree with, but that's a partial.
Nobody's saying Luka's not going to get steals. Luka's going to get steals.
Right, he's going to do right. Exactly.
He's going to get those, right? But he's still in certain positions. He's still a liability, just like LeBron. I will be the first one to say right now, LeBron will let somebody go right to the hoop to get two so they can get the transition. He's going to try and beat them off the transition. He does it all the time. He'll let people go to the rim.
What in the hell y'all be watching, bro? Okay.
I'm telling you.
Hey.
It's cool.
And you're talking to the biggest LeBron James fan in the world.
You're talking to the biggest Laker fan in the world.
Hey,
and I watch every game, every second of the game.
Kobe B.
This man say LeBron just be like, Ole, go ahead and go to
I'm not saying that, but LeBron's not the defender he was 10 years ago just because of age. He can't put that
but
energy.
The defense was the top-rated defense. Since
because of your front court.
Rui Hachimura is playing great defense. Jackson Hayes is playing great defense.
Yes. That's all they got to do.
That's
all they literally have to do.
Because the other two will carry them offensively.
Jackson Hayes get fouls. That's what Jackson Hayes does in the game.
He creates
LeBron, Vando, Rui, Black and Mild, Dorian Smith is what I call him. Black and Mild, his nickname. Those are my defensive players. The best.
Dorian Finney-Smith was a great addition.
Jackson Hayes is just long. He's long and tall. He and inexperienced. He makes a lot of dumb fouls as well.
That's all they need to
be. It's not like it's Ben Wallace back there.
No, we're not saying that.
He doesn't need to be.
Because
the Lakers have size.
Great defense as a team. Again, for the fourth time, we had the number one rated defense since All-Star break up until this point.
Listen, you can't, we're gonna move on, but you can't teach size. You can't. Y'all have size. That's the advantage upon its own. Okay. So moving right along. Since Bryce couldn't jump on tonight, I'm gonna be his personal representative for 5 minutes.
Ooh, I'm gonna whoop your ass.
Just give me 5 minutes though. Just give me 5 minutes. So Bryce didn't, and I did invite Cortez, but he was working late. So
hey, Cortez.
Shifting to the Orlando Magic, which I have to do. Bryce was like, I'm not gonna get too hyped because I think Boston is gonna win. I said, hey, that's fine. But you have to give your team more credit. Here's why.
Why?
I don't give a fuck what Boston does in the regular season as far as wins. I have personally seen my team punk Boston multiple times in playoffs. And like I told Bryce, the Orlando Magic are big enough and they're long enough to kind of stifle Boston defensively just a little bit as far as shooting all those threes. So Bryce said, okay, I give the Orlando Magic 2 games. I said, Bryce, I think the Orlando Magic can take Boston to 7 games. Now, game 7 would be in Boston, of course. Mike, what do you think about it? Do you think the Magic have a chance against the defending NBA champion?
Oh my
God. I'm always going to be the one that says with this league that we have right now, anybody can win on any given night. Mm-hmm. The way that it's spread out right now. And yes, the way I watched the Magic game the other night against the Hawks, and they were down. Yeah, they were down though at the beginning.
The first 10 minutes.
Yeah, and I was like, all right, this, Atlanta could get a little bit ugly here, but they just let it go, and Orlando turned it up. And I think what stands out is Orlando's defense and the way that they spread, right? They can spread the court very, very well. And I think that an X factor is going to be KCP, right, with his shooting. He's going to have to match. He's their primary three-point shooter, right? I mean, your primary scorers are going to be Banchero and it's going to be Franz Wagner. But KCP is going to have to step up. I think if they hold the defense down, I mean, whenever you can do that, you can beat anybody on any given night. So I think that, yeah, Boston, I'm still not with them 100% saying that they're as dominant as a lot of people feel like they are. I really don't think that they are. I think that they could lose at any time.
Pat, let me ask you this, because it's always football. It's going to always be football. Okay. Pat, do you see any team threatening Boston in the Eastern Conference this year?
The only team I think.
Cleveland, please don't say Cleveland. Please, God, don't say Cleveland.
No, the only team that may give them a problem, I think, will be the Bucks with a healthy Dame. And outside of that, no. The East is trash.
You're wild.
The East is trash. Most of your teams are at 500 or close to 500.
Because of parity.
500. Trash.
Because of league parity. That's the thing.
No, because they lost games. They play the Western Conference too.
They do, but they only play those teams a couple of times. They play their conference multiple times, home and away. So majority of those games that they play, the majority of those record games are conference games.
Trash. Anyways, you got teams that's below 500 in the playoffs. That's crazy work right there. Anyways, the Celtics have more length in the front court, more veterans, better scorers. They're already champions. They know how to win. The Magic are just fighting with desperation. They're just trying to go as far as they can.
If you look at the Magic,
no comparison here, bro.
So check this. If you look at the Magic regular season record against the Celtics over the last 3 years, the Magic has more wins against the Celtics than anybody else.
That don't mean nothing. That doesn't mean nothing.
A second thing I will say, because 3 of the last 5 years the Heat have defeated the Celtics in the playoffs. So I've seen the Celtics a lot. We know the Celtics can get punked. We know Milwaukee can get punked. Now, my team's not strong enough to pump them right now, but I actually think I really do think Orlando has a puncher's shot to upset the Celtics. The Celtics
where they get their points from?
They are. You're right. The Orlando Magic can't shoot for shit, but if they slow the game down, play old school 90s basketball, because look, we know who ain't gonna show up. Jason Tatum ain't gonna show up. With his low 30s, bullshit. With his low 30s, shooting percentage every year in the playoffs.
I hate that narrative.
Are you kidding me? No, he's great in the regular season, but in the playoffs, he's a bitch. In the playoffs, he's a bitch. He's like James Harden in the playoffs. He's like James Harden in the playoffs. I want to hear. He's like James Harden in the fucking playoffs.
If that were the case, he would have won Finals MVP.
Exactly.
He didn't vote for himself.
Listen,
he can vote for himself all he wants. Everybody else voted for Jaylen Brown.
Well, that's not his fault. He led his team
because he saw his shit.
Statistical category, and y'all say he disappeared. That's crazy.
When Porzingis is healthy, he's consistent. Jason Tatum will not lead his team to a championship shooting in the low 30s every fucking year to playoffs. And you can Google that shit. Okay, here's
look like they won last year, bro.
Not because of him, though. Not because of him.
He didn't have nothing to do with that. Yeah, he didn't have nothing.
Else.
He didn't have nothing to do with that.
Oh, okay.
That's crazy. That's crazy.
I'm gonna tell you this. If they play that old school type basketball, Magic don't do it. Detroit could do it.
So
y'all speaking on hypotheticals.
We are.
Celtics are the better team. They have shown they're the better team this season.
How many times have they lost being a better team? They've been the best team in the East on paper for 7 years, and they only got one ring out of it. Explain that.
They still won, and they are the current champions. All this hype. If they play like this, and if they play like that, those are hypotheticals.
They took a
They are winning. They are winning. They have the second
Explain
best
the L's.
in the league.
Explain the L's, though. Explain the lower seed beating the Celtics 3 out of the last 5 years. Can you explain that?
No, I can't. The better team won those games. The better team won those games. Okay. But I know the Celtics. I know the Celtics brought home to Larry O'Brien. I know that.
Right.
Explain that. Explain that. Explain that.
That Donovan Mitchell were hurt last year.
Explain that.
If they didn't play Dallas, 2 point guards. If they didn't play Dallas, they probably wouldn't have had that ring.
They had to win 4 series to get there.
Bro, they were so lucky. Everybody was hurt getting there. Jimmy was hurt.
They had to win.
Donovan Mitchell was hurt. Tyrese Halliburton was hurt. Are you kidding me right now?
And nobody was hurt. Nobody was hurt on the Celtics.
Porzingis was the only one that was hurt.
Everybody was in perfect. Y'all diminish people's success because y'all don't like them.
Jason Tatum is a piece of shit. So, and for you of all people to be caping for the fucking Celtics.
Ain't nobody capping for the Celtics.
Look, Jason Tatum, I'll say this. Jason Tatum, for me right now, if I'm going to compare him to any other basketball and career-wise, I'm comparing him to KD. And the reason why, not because of the skill portion, but because Jason Tatum is that individual that will not do and lead on his own and needs a team. He needs to walk over to Golden State with 3 superstars. He needs to have a 79-win team, or was a 72-win team. KD needed all that for him to get his rings. Jason Tatum is the same way. Put him on Orlando, they're not winning anything.
Damn.
Again, a hypothetical. What are you talking about, bro?
But I'm saying
it's not even real life.
It's not taking away from Jason Tatum's basketball ability and skills. It's taken away from his leadership. He's not that guy. He's not that guy. He needs everybody else.
The all NBA guy, first team.
He's not a leader.
The guy who led his team.
Kevin Durant has never been a leader. Kevin Durant has won every award
category
the NBA had. Kevin Durant has won every award the NBA has had. He is never been a leader on every one of his teams. He's never been a leader. He's never.
Kevin Durant has by far the 2 softest rings in NBA history. I throw that in the category of Nash's 2 MVPs. Fucking trash.
Thank you.
Fucking both of those trash.
Thank you.
I would love to eliminate that shit out of the NBA history because they were soft as hell and bullshit. Both of them. But that's what I'm trying to say is KD he's going to go down as one of the greatest scorers ever. He's going to go down as one of the best players ever. Jason Tatum really could. But Jason Tatum is not going to win rings until he steps up and has leadership on his own without having to rely on everybody else. He has to have everybody else.
What was he relying on everyone else when he led the team in every statistical category?
That wasn't in the playoffs, though. That
wasn't in the playoffs.
That was during the playoffs, bro.
And it definitely wasn't during the finals when it really fucking counted, because if he would have led all those categories, he would have won Finals MVP. He didn't.
That's not true, bro. Andre Iguodala, Tony Parker.
And that was bullshit. I'll be the first to say
we know. The only reason LeBron didn't get that was because he was on a losing team. That was it.
So
shit, Jerry West won one and he lost.
That was 50 years ago. That was 50 years ago. And rest in peace, Jerry West.
Bro, I mean, what are y'all watching? So Jason Tatum is a scrub?
That's not what we're saying. That's not what we're saying.
No, he's a good player. He's a good player. He's just not that guy.
Right. Jaylen Brown.
You know who believes he's that guy?
Who?
The Boston Celtics.
Brad Stevens.
That's who.
Brad Stevens.
That's who.
Yeah, Brad Stevens.
Yeah.
So how about this? Even though Jaylen Brown hasn't won league MVP in the regular season, when Jason Tatum wins it, league MVP, then we can revisit this conversation. Outside of that, I don't even want to talk about it. So, Pat, I'm going to throw this to you, and then we'll go to the Western Conference. What is your Eastern Conference prediction for the conference finals?
The Celtics coming out of the East.
And who else?
You want the conference?
The matchup. I want the conference finals matchup. Who you got?
I'm gonna say Bucks Celtics. No, can they even do that?
Yeah,
because they two
seed.
Seed.
They can.
Okay,
yeah, Bucks Celtics.
Bucks Celtics. I don't think the Cavs have enough for the Bucks. They're too inconsistent. They have the assets. They just don't know how to use them. They slacked off really bad towards the end of the season too. So
they did.
But that's because they were 40 games above 500.
So was OKC, but that didn't stop them from winning.
Go ahead, Matt.
So yeah, I'm gonna go with the Bucks Celtics. Okay. Celtics are the best team in the East.
So I mean, record-wise.
You were asking about the West.
Well, we're gonna get to the West next. Mike, okay. Who you got in your conference finals?
Going by record. Yeah, going by record and going by just I guess position in the conference, it'd be Boston and Cleveland for me.
So I told Bryce I would do this. My Eastern Conference pick, and I will break this down for basketball reasons. I got the Orlando Magic and the Miami Heat in the conference finals.
Wait,
here's why.
Oh man!
No. Here's why. Here's why.
Oh my God, I'm about to explode, bro.
Go ahead. But here's why. If you look at the records over the last 3 years, Miami have owned the Hawks, so we're gonna beat the Hawks tonight. We've owned Cleveland, and we've owned Milwaukee. So if you look at the bracket that's on the screen right now, if you just look at it, once we beat. Let me ask you a question.
Can I ask you a question?
Yes.
Who was on your team when you were?
It doesn't matter. It doesn't.
Oh, it
matter.
does. It matters.
No, it doesn't matter because we're not a superstar laced team. We don't need, just like the Detroit Pistons won the 2004 NBA championship without an actual superstar. We play team basketball. So let me really break this down to you, okay?
Okay.
We can every year we beat Chicago in the play-in. Every year we beat Atlanta in the play-in. So we just got to take care of Atlanta tonight. Cleveland, no one believes in Cleveland. Absolutely no one. I was in Miami when we played Cleveland. Cleveland's trash. They're not that great. They're front runners. They're not that great. If Miami can beat Cleveland, then Miami has the winner of Milwaukee and Indiana. How many times have we fucked Milwaukee over? And we don't even know if Dame's coming back for the second round.
Yeah, he probably won't.
We shut Giannis down. The Miami Heat has a path to the conference finals. Believe it or not, it's a legit path to the conference finals. Now, the Magic,
this man,
I'm being so real right now. The Magic are the wild card. They have beaten Boston a lot over the last few years in the regular season. They haven't played each other in the playoffs, but the Magic has the recipe to beat Boston. If they beat Boston, now they're looking at the winner of Detroit and New York. Mike, what is everybody picking for Detroit and New York?
They're picking New York.
Detroit at 7.
No, people are picking Detroit.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Okay, I'm with it then. I thought I was the only one.
No, everyone is picking Detroit in that series. Okay.
It's trash.
The Orlando Magic has a winning record against the Detroit Pistons. So it's not too far-fetched to say Miami and Orlando can be in the conference finals. Miami
is not far-fetched. It's not far-fetched.
Listen, dude, we've been in the play. Look, I've seen this team be the 8th seed and get to the fucking NBA finals. I have seen it with my own, and we beat Milwaukee and Boston in the same fucking season in the playoffs. Are you kidding me?
Hey, did you watch the Heat this year though?
Yes, I did. And they rebounded. We rebounded from losing our franchise player. And this is no disrespect to LeBron James. You take LeBron James off the Lakers, how many games they gonna win?
We win a lot. We still got.
Okay. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
That's what we doing right now. That's what we doing right now.
We got Luka Doncic.
That's what we doing right now.
This man talking about the Heat winning.
Really, Pat? Really?
This man talking about a 37 and 45 team.
That is disrespectful to LeBron James.
I don't give a fuck what the record is. The last 3 since the play-in tournament, the Miami Heat has been the most successful team in the play-in. That's numbers. Look at the fucking numbers.
Okay. What does that have to do with today? What does that have to do with today?
The Miami Heat has a path to the conference finals. If the Orlando Magic can get by Boston, which is tougher than what Miami Heat has, don't get me wrong, I know it's tough. I think Orlando has let's say a 40% chance of knocking out. Dude, Boston ain't shit, bro. Boston ain't shit. They ain't. Bro, they ain't.
If Boston ain't shit, what is the Magic? What are the Magic?
If Boston gets to the finals, Boston's gonna get blown out. I guarantee you that.
Oh my God.
I guarantee you.
Do you think though? Let's throw this in here. Do you really think that a conference finals between Orlando and Miami will get viewership?
Hell no.
I'm not worried about viewership, but with
I
that
would
being
be
said,
because it's a business.
With that being said, there may be some shenanigans, but usually the shenanigans don't start until like second round conference finals. The shenanigans usually.
You're talking about them getting to the conference finals.
I don't think people. There's going to be more shenanigans in the Western Conference that's going to benefit the Lakers than the Eastern.
Oh my God!
I'm just being real.
I love, bro.
The NBA would love.
Hypotheticals, bro. This is crazy work,
bro. How many times Miami Heat been in the finals the last 4 years? How many times has Miami Heat been in the finals the last 4 years? Answer that question for me, Pat. How many times has the Miami Heat been in the finals the last 4 years? How many times?
Two.
And who did we beat to get there each time?
That was then.
Who did we? No. Who did we beat to get there each time? We beat Boston and we beat Milwaukee. I'm telling you, those teams are soft.
That's saying that won't happen though because Miami doesn't have a franchise player and Boston has 2 of them.
But
overrated
Orlando
guard.
This year, Orlando is tougher than Miami. That's what I'm saying. Orlando is a wild. Let me tell you something.
Orlando has franchise players though too.
Orlando. Let me tell you something about Miami. I didn't lose sleep over who we played. Chicago. I knew it was gonna be Chicago. I'm not losing sleep over Atlanta. I know we're gonna beat Atlanta tonight. I'm not losing sleep over Cleveland. Are you kidding me? And do you actually think I'm scared of fucking Milwaukee? No.
Why would you be scared of Milwaukee? It's not like they got.
So you just answered my question right there. You just answered my question. The Heat has a path to get to the conference finals. You just answered my question.
I was being sarcastic, is what I was being.
Yeah. The paths are there. The paths are there.
You're
yes.
37 and 45.
I don't care about records, bro. We were the A seed and we went to the finals 2 years ago. I don't give a fuck about records, bro. I don't.
Because you had Jimmy Butler.
It doesn't matter. I don't care. If Andrew Wiggins does half of what Jimmy does, the Miami Heat are going to be competitive. Real shit.
When have you seen Andrew Wiggins perform like Jimmy Butler?
He's been hurt for the last month. He's been in and out of the lineup. But
Ever in life.
He played well last game. So
I'm talking about to carry a team to the finals.
He's never had to do that.
I didn't say he was going to the finals.
He's never had to do that.
What I said was the Magic and the Heat are going to be in the conference finals. I never said Miami were going to the finals. What I'm saying is, if Andrew Wiggins
comparing this year's team to
we have upsets every year, bro. We have upsets every year. Where's your upset? Where's your upset then? Tell me your upset right now. The bracket is on the screen. Tell me your upset right now. We have upsets every fucking year. We do.
You're basing this year's performance on previous year's performance.
I am.
Those are not even the same. This is not even the same team.
Because Milwaukee's gonna nut up against Miami. Trust me. Where's Mike? Look at the bracket. Where's your upset? Because we have 3 to 4 upsets every year.
My upset. I mean, it's a homegrown one. Mine would be Detroit over Boston. If they
Detroit
play
over Boston, Detroit over New York.
Well, I'm saying they're going to get past New York.
So you got.
Boston, I expect it to be Detroit and Boston in that next round.
So you got Detroit in the conference finals. Wow, how you feel about that, Pat?
They're too young. They don't have enough experience to do so.
Yeah.
I agree with that. But look at every other team that's over there. If Cleveland doesn't make it, you've got young teams everywhere. You got Orlando that's young. You've got Detroit that's young. You've got Miami that's now young because they don't have
trash.
But I'm saying everybody over there, somebody's got to come out of there, whether they're trash or not.
Exactly.
Yeah, the Celtics and the Bucks. Yeah.
So right now, what's heavily in Detroit's favor is their youth. So when we're talking they're too young because of possible experience, because they haven't been in the playoffs in this position.
That matters. That matters, sir.
But the way that they gel together as a young team, if they don't do it this year, they're gonna do it in the next couple. Especially, and I'm gonna lead in with this at some point because this is gonna be a topic, CEO. Especially if they get Devin Booker.
So we're gonna wait on that. we're gonna wait on that. But I do want to say something before we pivot to the Western Conference. New York is scared shitless of Detroit. And the reason why I say that is, even though I don't watch ESPN, trust me, I have no time to watch ESPN. Absolutely no time to watch ESPN.
I hope not, bro.
I'm telling you, I don't watch it. I did see a headline today talking about the pressure on Cat. So they're already trying to bake
create
in
a narrative.
Excuse. Right. They're trying to bake in an excuse just in case Detroit eliminates the Knicks in the first round.
Because Jalen Duren is that guy at center. Let me tell you. Jalen Duren.
When I saw that shit, I'm like, what pressure is on Cat? What are y'all talking about? Like, what are we doing here? You know. So we're gonna pivot to one more thing before we pivot to the Western Conference. I don't believe in Cleveland. Pat, do you believe in Cleveland?
No, I already said that. No.
Mike, do you believe in Cleveland?
Out of the East, yeah. I mean, the reason why, I mean, look, when you're talking records, right? Since we're talking records, right? 64-18 was dominant in the Eastern Conference. So, you know what I mean? Like, there's no turning away from that. Along with Boston 61-21, that's why I said if you go based off of conference dominance, it's going to be Cleveland and Boston in the conference finals. But the Pistons have a great chance. I would say the Magic have a great chance. Yeah. I don't believe in the Pacers and the Bucks or the Knicks.
Got it.
Do you believe in the Heat and the Magic?
I believe there's going to be some upsets. And I
was asking Michael.
They have to get past Cleveland. I don't see Miami getting past Cleveland.
I don't see Miami getting past the Hawks. But
they'll get past the Hawks. The Hawks are trash, bro.
The Hawks, look, bro.
That's true. The Hawks trash, but Miami not trash.
Before we pivot to the West, just like we shut Kobe White down, we're going to shut Trae Young down within 30 minutes. That's going to be a wrap.
That's all they got to do.
Look at the records in the playoffs. Look at the records in the regular season the last few years with Miami and the Hawks who are in the same divisions. Look at it. All right. So we're going to pivot to the Western Conference. I didn't think preseason, the Lakers were going to be the third seed. Now, I do know the Lakers made the blockbuster trade to get Luka Doncic, who I love. I will never, ever, ever, ever say anything bad about Luka. I don't care if he drinks. I don't care if he smokes hookah all the time. I don't give a fuck. I love Luka Doncic. Okay.
You just said he can't play defense.
Hey, that's a fact. That's not talking bad about him. That's just a fact. He can't play defense. Right. That's a fact. I'm not talking. Look. If Pat Riley picked up the phone and said we can get Luka, yeah, get him. Okay.
Pat Riley finna get up out of there. Spo, you next.
So with that said, Spo ain't getting fired, bro. So with that,
you next, Spo.
I'm about to give you some love. Now you're gonna fuck it up.
Okay, I'm used to being hated on, bro. That's what we do over here.
So with that being said, with the Lakers being the 3rd seed, which is great because I didn't think they were going to be that high. I didn't think Minnesota was going to be the 6th seed, even though they finished the season strong because they started off rough as fuck. How much of a threat do you think Minnesota is in the first round to the Lakers? Let's throw it to Mike first, then Pat.
None. I don't think they're a threat. I mean, I think that the loss of Cat hurt. We talked about this last year's playoffs when Minnesota had their little run. To me it fell on Anthony Edwards. He was the center stage, but Cat plays a role in that because he can spread the floor as a big man. Losing him hurt Minnesota. As soon as I saw that he was going to New York, I already knew Minnesota wasn't going to be in the top position in the Western Conference like they were last year. They lost that control of the floor. Anthony Edwards, I don't know. He's worried about paying $1 million to his baby mama.
He got to stop. He got to stop.
Yeah, and it's funny because I was watching that Starting 5 on Netflix. I don't know if you guys got a chance to watch it yet.
Yeah,
but I have a lot of respect for Anthony Edwards. I love where his mind is at. But when this whole thing came out with this whole I'm paying 18 years worth of child support up front and I don't want any contact with the child type shit, I was like, bro, you're back in that adolescent mindset. You just fucked up.
He told her that. He gave her the money to have the abortion, but I'm like 50-50 on it. I'm like
either way. I don't think Minnesota gets out of the first round. I think they've got too much going on over there. Like as far as Anthony Edwards doesn't want to be not only the face of the NBA, but I don't know if he even wants to be the face of his team.
Yeah, that's a good point.
He can run. He likes to run his mouth. I appreciate the confidence, my man, but you got to understand what your role is, and your role is becoming into this as a superstar. You very well could be thrown into the fire one way or the other, whether you like it or not. So you better be ready for it. But either way, I think the Lakers demolished Minnesota.
Hey, hold on. Are you going to say anything related to actual basketball in this analysis? Because all you talked about was off-court stuff.
Off-court stuff actually translates to on-court stuff when you've got things going on like that.
Basketball-wise, the Lakers are bad. The Timberwolves are a bad matchup for the Lakers. Like the Lakers can steamroll the Timberwolves.
Yeah, they don't have an answer for Luka, and if they did have an answer for Luka, they don't have one for LeBron. Mm-hmm. And I'm sorry if they decide to go here. If you want to go this route, Pat, since I didn't say anything much about basketball before, if they go with a smaller squad and allow Jackson Hayes to come off the bench and start LeBron at center, they will run the shit out of Minnesota.
Because of Rudy Gobert?
It will always be 5-on-4. I don't care where Rudy's at. He's always on the other side of the court by the time the ball is on the opposite side.
Getting Luka Doncic was a game changer for the Los Angeles Lakers. And if they would have did this, let's say if LeBron James was 10 years younger, it would be the greatest 1-2 punch in the history of the NBA. That's how much respect I have for both of those players on the court at the same time. Minnesota cannot deal with that. Absolutely cannot from a basketball standpoint. The Lakers have a great path to the NBA Finals because the Rockets aren't mature enough to deal with the Lakers. Golden State's still not big enough to deal with the Lakers. The Lakers has a cakewalk to the conference finals right now in the West. My next question for Pat is: have enough? Yeah, I just gave you.
That is crazy, bro.
I just gave you. So you don't think the Lakers have an easy path to the conference final?
No. I'm gonna start with Minnesota. Minnesota has length. We have to play them we have to beat them 4 times. And when you play a team that much, you have more time to scheme. And
how many times have y'all beat Denver? How many times y'all beat Denver in the last 3 years?
At what point? Like during the regular season?
Yeah, regular season. How many times have y'all beat them?
Well, this season we beat them. No, we beat them at least 3 times.
Look at last season too. Denver, I can argue that Denver's bigger than Minnesota, and generally y'all handle Denver outside of the playoffs.
Denver's not the same team they were last year. They actually
Minnesota's not the same team they were last year.
More trash.
Because I remember you saying in our season preview that Julius Randle was going to make a difference with Minnesota, and I told you he's ass.
I did say that. They only won one game behind the Lakers. I mean, that wasn't a big drop off from three through what 7. It's like 2 games.
So you don't have confidence that your Lakers can handle the Minnesota Timberwolves?
That's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is I'm not diminishing my opponent. He all defensive team. Why is that funny?
It's funny because I
watch the games. I watch the games. I don't watch 2K and get on Twitter.
I just gave you a compliment. What do you want me to sit here and bash the Lakers and say they're
going to play Mike Tyson's Punch Out?
Realistic.
Either one of you guys play Mike Tyson's Punch Out?
When I was 10.
What does that have to do with what we're talking about?
Because the Minnesota Timberwolves are Glass Joe, bro.
Okay, that's an opinion. They one game behind the Lakers in the standings.
It doesn't matter.
That was because of the flip that happened throughout the season when they got Luka Doncic. When they got Luka Doncic, the Lakers shot up the damn list.
Everything changed.
And Minnesota fell. Yeah. So now, the momentum is on LA's side to continue that going. And right now, Minnesota's in the position to keep losing.
Okay, they're in the 6th spot.
Right.
They're matched up with the 3rd seed, and they have one more loss than the 3rd seed has.
I don't care about records.
They have great players on their team that can shoot the ball and play defense.
One great player that can shoot the ball.
They have great 3-point shooters. I'm being realistic. I'm not being
3 players who can play defense. Okay, keep going.
Yeah, and score the ball. Yeah, Nas Reed.
So are you scared?
Threat.
Are you scared?
Nas Reed is a dual threat. DiVincenzo. What's his name?
You're talking about
Anthony Edwards is a dual threat.
Scoring.
Say what happened?
You're talking about guys that aren't even in the top 50 scoring.
What does that have to do with winning games?
Are you scared of Minnesota?
To stop them, they can't score.
What?
The Lakers' defense that we literally talked about at the beginning right now, the team defense, and you're talking about those individuals like Dante DiVincenzo and Naz Reid, who arguably
a 7'4" forward who can shoot threes, and play defense,
He's not shooting threes. He's not shooting threes to the point where I'm scared.
Yeah, he's not shooting.
Y'all be basing y'all shit on what happened.
I think you're giving too much credit to Minnesota at this point.
Anytime you bring up, what was your boy name? Duran, the center for the Pistons.
You can't say nothing wrong about Duran.
Let me talk about Nas Reed. Let me talk about Nas Reed, who was was he 6 man of the year? Yeah, that guy.
No, I don't remember.
Okay, that guy. And the defensive player of the year in Rudy Gobert. And a superstar in our league, Anthony Edwards, who's a great player. And Antonio Daniels? I don't know his name. Number 6. Great defensive players. They play great together. They're not going to be a pushover. No team in the West is. So that narrative of a cakewalk is ridiculous. You want to talk about a cakewalk, you go to the East. There ain't no cakewalks in the West, bro. It's very competitive.
I don't understand how I give you a compliment and you don't agree with the compliment. I would never understand.
I disagree with that.
So you think the Lakers are going to have a hard time getting to the conference finals?
It's the Western Conference, yes.
Yeah, that's fine.
How many games do you think it's going to go?
With Minnesota?
Yeah.
I think it'll go at least 6. I watch the games. I watch them. I don't go to Twitter and listen to what everybody's saying and talk about baby mamas and child support. I watch the games.
I mean, he is nothing.
What people are capable of.
4 kids.
That shit don't have nothing to do with basketball, bro.
That's fine.
Because when your ball is being screwed over.
What I'm saying is that I don't understand how, when I said the Lakers got a cakewalk to the finals, how that's taken the wrong way. That is actually a compliment.
I didn't take it as a disrespect.
Okay.
I'm just saying you're wrong. I'm just saying you're wrong. Ain't no cakewalk. Ain't no cakewalk, bro. You got the Warriors, the Nuggets. You got the best teams in the league in the West.
If they go 6 or 7 with Minnesota, they're gonna get swept by Denver.
Denver is trash. What are you talking about?
Wait, how can you say all of these teams that we've said are trash, but yet you're giving all this extra credit to other teams that are not like everybody in the playoffs is trash or what?
No, in the East, yeah.
We're not talking about the East. We're done with the East. We're not talking about the East.
You're trying to twist my words.
All right, so let me ask you this question.
The Nuggets, since you brought the Nuggets up, the Nuggets only have Joker. If you watch the games we play, if you lessen his low, if you triple and quadruple team him, then it means you got to rely on Russell Westbrook, Aaron Gordon, Bron, and all them other guys. Trash. And Murray being hurt. It's not enough, bro. We are the better team.
Do you think the Lakers are going to be in the NBA
Finals? So it's strategy here. It's
do you
not
think
just
the Lakers
about
are going
my
to be in the
feelings.
NBA Finals?
What?
Do you think the Lakers are going to be in the NBA Finals?
I didn't say that at the beginning of the year, but
no, but asking you right now, since the Luka trade, do you think the Los Angeles Lakers are going to be in the NBA Finals?
I hope
it's okay. It's okay. You can agree with that one.
I'm just saying. I'm literally sitting here saying that the Lakers are probably going to go to the finals, and you're like doing this counter argument. I don't give a fuck about Minnesota's record. I don't give a fuck about Minnesota's players. I'm telling you, the Los Angeles Lakers have a great shot of going to the NBA Finals.
You said it's a cakewalk. That's not a compliment to you. Saying the opponents are lesser than them.
That's a compliment to LA that they got that strong.
I don't care if it's 7 games.
I don't care about your compliment,
games.
bro.
If
what I'm telling you is
okay.
These teams are great.
That's fine.
All of them in the West.
The Los Angeles Lakers will be in the conference finals. Mike. I got the Los Angeles Lakers in the conference finals.
Hey, let's talk about child support in the center from Detroit. That's more realistic. Yeah.
The Los Angeles Lakers are going to be in the finals, and by looking at this record, I actually think the Clippers might be in the NBA Finals as well because I don't believe in OKC and I don't believe in Denver. Mike, with Denver firing Mike Malone 3 games before the regular season ended, how much of an impact do you think that's going to have on Denver?
I mean, it could have significant meaning towards it because of the fact that they're going to have to run the schemes that are going to be called for them. They don't control they control the court, but they don't control those plays when they're called and how they're called and who's on the court. Excuse me, right? So whoever that's going to be could be a factor. That definitely could be a factor.
Got it. So Oklahoma City Thunder. Pat, do you believe in the Thunder? So in the first round, you're looking at, and we'll find out tonight, but in the first round, they're looking at either Sacramento or Dallas. In the second round, they're looking at the winner of the Nuggets and Clippers. Now, the Thunder have been the number 1 seed in the Western Conference for the majority of the season.
They're looking at Dallas or Memphis, not Sacramento.
Oh, forgive me. You're right. Forgive me. I was looking at the wrong block. Forgive me. So the question remains, do you have faith in the Oklahoma City Thunder as the first seed to make it to the conference final?
No, I don't think they'll get past the Clippers.
So you got the Clippers over Denver?
Yes. Again, that's another young team without experience. They had a great regular season. Shy's having an MVP season. But no, the Clippers have champions and superstars and veterans who know how to win in the playoffs. So, no, I don't think it'll be enough.
Mike, the 4 or 5 matchup, who you got, Denver or Clippers?
I got Denver. I'll still take Denver over the Clippers. James Harden isn't enough. James Harden, I want to see him actually show up in the playoffs.
He never does, but I get it.
Exactly. That's my point. So even with that factor of any coaching changes or anything like that, I still think Jokic as a factor on the court is much more than any player because that man literally just showed he can do 60-20-20, right? He averaged
He had
right.
to.
But he did it, and they won. He averaged a triple-double the whole year.
Yeah, because he had to.
So, but he had to get 50 wins. You can't tell me he can't do it for 4 more games?
Yep, he could. But it's the playoffs. It's a whole different thing now.
And they're experienced in the playoffs. They're the most experienced playoff team right now in the West.
But the Clippers are a little deeper.
Playoff team in the West?
Yep, absolutely. They
only won 1. I don't know. Warriors are pretty experienced.
I'm saying right now.
I'm playing the Warriors getting by the Rockets. Though.
Right now, the Warriors are done. That team that you're talking about is broken up. That's gone. That's over. That's left in the 2010s. In the 2020s right now, and going on 5 years, that team right there is the most experienced team in the West.
Before we go to our Western Conference, our Western Conference Finals predictions, I'm gonna take a minute to be personal here. The Rockets, Timberwolves, the Lakers, the Clippers, the Nuggets, the Thunder, who the fuck they're playing. I don't give a fuck who it is. Everyone needs to beat Golden State. I don't need Jimmy Butler nowhere near the NBA Finals.
Yeah, you don't have to worry about that.
I take it personal. Okay, so put Michael Jordan's face on my face. I'm taking it personal. Okay, so with that being said, I actually think the Clippers and the Lakers are going to be in the Western Conference Finals. Pat, who you got in the Western Conference Finals?
In the Western Conference Finals, I'm picking the Lakers and the Clippers.
Mike, who you got? Western Conference Finals.
Lakers, Thunder.
So, with that said, since we are all in agreement that at some point the Lakers are going to be in the Western Conference Finals, we're going to stay in the Western Conference. Who is your NBA Finals representative for the Western Conference? Go ahead, Pat.
Lakers. All day, every day. 17 championships plus one in season.
Who you got, Mike?
Lakers.
I got the Lakers representing the Western Conference in the NBA Finals. Mike, in the Eastern Conference, who do you have going to the NBA Finals? Who's your NBA Finals matchup with the Lakers?
So my conference, remember I said Cleveland and Boston.
Okay.
I'd take Boston.
Got it. So Boston Lakers for Mike. Pat, who you got in the NBA Finals?
Lakers Celtics. Lakers in 7. Yeah. I know who won't be there. The Heat, the Magic,
Don't do that.
or the Suns. I know that.
Don't do that. Don't do that.
I know that.
I'm glad the Suns aren't there.
I hate
them.
Or Detroit.
They need to blow that shit up. God, they need to blow that shit up.
The only team to not have a draft lottery pick, be in the play-in, or be in the playoffs. The only team in the NBA.
It's ridiculous. The Suns are ridiculous at this point. So, only because I need the Heat to get to the finals for my Dukes, who's no longer with us. I got the Lakers, and I got the Heat.
Y'all laughing at me. I'm glad you laugh at yourself because that is.
In the NBA, I got the Lakers and Heat in the NBA. We have seen stranger things happen before.
Would that be if the Heat go to the finals? Would that be a finals representative with the worst record ever?
Yes.
Yeah, sure.
When you're talking 8 games under 500, that's pretty big.
It would, but again, we've seen the Heat do this 2 other times within the last 5 years. We have.
Right. It's any like in the NFL any given Sunday.
We literally have seen it. Now,
shout out to Jimmy Butler. Shout out Jimmy Butler.
Now, with that said,
you that guy.
I got the Lakers winning the championship this year. Mike, what do you got?
I would take that as well.
Pat, what do you got?
What? What are you asking me, sir?
I'm asking you who, if the Lakers were to play the Celtics in the finals, who's your NBA Finals pick?
Lakers in 7. Let's go.
So we're all unanimous in saying that the Los Angeles Lakers are going to win the NBA championship. Is that correct?
It would appear so.
So 2 months from now, when we get back on, all of us are going to have to eat shit in the event that the Lakers don't win the championship. But I think adding Luka to that team was monumental as far as what they can do basketball-wise going forward. And I wish LeBron was 10 years younger so we could see more of Luka and LeBron together. I really wish we could. But
I like this LeBron enthusiasm. CL, I appreciate it. Thank you.
You know what? Again, as a basketball player, I've never talked bad about LeBron. As the other shit, yes, I've talked bad about LeBron. Okay, but as a basketball player, LeBron James is the second greatest player I've seen in my life.
You should put a poll on this recording.
I put
about your Heat Magic theory. That shit is ridiculous, my guy.
I'm telling you, it's a pathway. I see it. It's a pathway. It is a pathway. Bro, we've beaten Milwaukee and Boston so many times. I don't fear any one of those things.
So I'll just ask this real quick because we got like a minute left. If the Magic were to beat the Celtics and the Pistons beat the Knicks, you really think that the Magic could beat the Pistons?
Yes, I do. Orlando is a dark horse, but like Pat said, it is hypothetical. It is. But I've been a Heat fan. I've learned that records don't matter in the playoffs. I've learned that.
Yeah,
records don't matter.
Yeah, I agree.
And I hate the Orlando Magic. Don't get me wrong. I absolutely fucking hate the Orlando Magic. But I see what they're building there, and I actually see what Detroit's building. Mike, I texted you last year. I said Detroit's going to be great. They wasn't great last year, but they turned it on this year, and now we see the seeds of it, right? So, and we're going to have upsets. We are. The upsets are going to be in the Eastern Conference, not necessarily the Western Conference, okay? Pat, I got the Lakers winning the championship. You should be happy, bro.
You ain't doing me no favors, bro.
Bro, you should be happy,
It's
bro.
gonna be a cakewalk. Ain't no cakewalk in the West. Y'all disrespectful. The cakewalk is in the East. All these trash ass teams. So,
I just gave you your 18th NBA championship.
You ain't giving me shit. We gotta earn that.
I've never seen banter like that on a podcast before.
I'm from Lake Alpha, Florida. Country as hell. You ain't giving me shit. Okay?
You're right.
We gotta earn that.
You are right about that. So with that said, we all three are in consensus of saying the Los Angeles Lakers are gonna win the NBA championship.
Whoa.
Coming up. That was Cortez in my mind. Cortez jumped into
the ghost of Cortez, huh?
Right.
That's crazy.
So we will revisit this in June and see how accurate we were with our playoff picks. Hopefully we have the full crew on.
With the conversation about Devin Booker to Detroit.
We're going to talk about that in all season.
And how cheap the Heat season tickets are going to be next year and how cheap the Magic season tickets are going to be next year. All right? Good talk, guys.
If I didn't know you for most of my life, bro.
Trash can.
I'll pull up on you, okay? So
trash can.
With that said, because I gotta go watch the Heat game. Please like, subscribe, and share our content. Drop comments below. Pat, let the people know where they can find you at.
I'm on Instagram as Curry_Chivo. That's all I'll be doing. Y'all check me out on there.
Mike, where can people find you at?
Best spot is Instagram, Michael Franz 0726, or Facebook, just Facebook, Michael Franz.
All right, so we're gonna wrap this up for this week's episode of the Hardwood Nation podcast. Go Lakers! Everyone stay safe, and we are out.